Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Let's Play. Today's Let's Play is a little bit different. I just wanted to try something different. I've been wanting some change in my life. And before I go on a 4-week break, which I'll provide some more details later in the video, I wanted to just take a look at Dynasty Warriors 9. Because I haven't played it really since the review. I threw it in for like 5 minutes when the characters came out, just to see if it was something that I really wanted to come back to. And at that time, I didn't feel like, it was something that I had any desire to play. But I got some PlayStation money as a gift, and decided to use it towards the season pass, play as some of these characters, and give my honest opinion on whether or not it's worthwhile to go back to Dynasty Warriors 9 if you've already completed it. Essentially. That's the idea of my whole... The goal of this video. So this is just a normal Let's Play. Nothing... no challenge. Nothing like that. It's just me playing as Hua Xiong. And... yeah. I haven't beat anybody's story since buying the... season pass. I have played a little bit as Hua Xiong, just roaming around the countryside, killing some bandits and stuff. I did play as Zhang He with his claws, and I actually do enjoy those weapons. I hate this weapon with Hua Xiong. I don't think he would use a club. I feel like he would use the... Actually, let's switch this weapon. See, what I feel he would use... I think he would be a good character with one of these. Let's equip him with this. See, that feels more Hua Xiong to me. Like, with his character design, his personality... that's what feels right for me. This or the short pike. When I created Hua Xiong in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, that's what I gave him, was the short pike that Han Dang uses. So yeah, let's talk about, first of all, the break that I will be going on. Because... most of you know, because I've been saying it in some of the Let's Plays, and if you're a patron, then you've been seeing some details in the updates that I'm getting married this month on the 28th. So that's super exciting, and it's been keeping me very, very busy. Almost too busy to be working on even Let's Plays. So I'm going to have to take a 4-week break as I finalize everything for the wedding and, actually have the wedding and, get some time to relax a little bit because, for those of you that don't know, I also work a full-time job and still try to keep some time to hang out with family and friends, if at all possible. Lately, that hasn't been very possible because, weekends are devoted to chores and wedding planning and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna be taking 4 weeks off. I'll be coming back October 9th, I think, is the Tuesday. But I might change that because I've been thinking as well, like, the Tuesday videos have not been doing very well. Even when I swapped it out for Shenmue did perform a little bit better than the 6th episode of Xenoblade Chronicles, but I still want to continue with both of those games. But I want to give you guys the Warriors content that you want. While still also continuing with the Let's Play challenges. So, I've been thinking about potentially starting up a thrice a week upload schedule. And it would really depend on how much time I would have once I come back from my break, because I'll also be working on preparing for Musou and trying to get some other reviews happening in the meantime between now and Musou, because I don't want it to just be only Let's Plays from now until then. Like, I haven't touched a script in so long that I'm honestly kind of worried that my writing skills won't be quite as up there, but who knows, maybe because I've been doing Let's Plays for all this time. Motherfucking fuck. Climb back up. Nope. Come on. There we go. Son of a bitch. That was annoying, to say the least. But, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Who knows, maybe because I've been doing so many Let's Plays and, talking off the top of my head, maybe I can work some improvisation into some of my scripts, and, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the future of the scripted content looks like yet. I know I want to work a bit more live bits into it. Maybe if I can work a sketch, like a quick sketch, or like a continuous bit, like a joke into a script, I kind of want to do that. Like, I want to make my reviews a lot more entertaining while still giving a good critique of the game. But I don't know what those are going to look like. I know I want to focus very hard on Musou scripts right off the bat. That way that's covered in case, life gets busy, and I don't want to fumble on Musou. That's the big thing. But yeah, I'll be looking into potentially doing 3 Let's Plays a week. If I do that, then Friday will still continue to be the Let's Play Challenge Day, while the normal Let's Plays will move to Sunday, and then Warriors games will be on Wednesday, leading to Warriors Wednesday. But again, I have to finalize all those thoughts and things, and I'll be thinking about it a little bit while I'm on my break, but I'll be putting a lot of focus on the wedding. So with all that aside, there's my update part of the video done. Let's get into the critique of the re-critique, I guess, of Dynasty Warriors 9. Because I probably should have watched my own video before I started doing this recording, but essentially, how should I put this? The game has changed, but only by a little bit. And personally, I don't think I could. Let's actually just skip this, because I don't personally care about that. I want to get into the gameplay, because that's what drives me as a gamer, is how the game plays. So, some little things of the gameplay have changed and have improved. Nothing has, gone backwards, which is a good thing. It's a good sight to see when a game that's getting, all these updates actually continues to increase in quality. So, I'm actually going to ride my horse, because I'm trying to level up what's his name? Friggity Frack. Shadowrunner. I knew it was Shadow something. Yeah, I just bought Shadowrunner just like a couple of days ago when I first started playing this game. I went to the stables to equip Red Hair, and then I saw, oh, I can buy a horse. Huh. So I went and checked, and yeah. So I haven't really done much of anything else but start up the story for Hua Xiong, play a little bit of Zhang He's story, and I have a story going with Xiahou Yuan, so I started playing that up, and essentially what I'm doing with that is I'm not actually trying to complete the story just yet. I want to just explore the land with his story. I probably should have done it with somebody that, you know, I've already beat their story with, but whatever. I could start it up again. I'm not too far of just like exploring. But yeah, I haven't put a whole lot of time into Dynasty Warriors 9 again, because I also wanted to like give you guys my initial impressions coming back to this game, because if I remember correctly, I gave the game a 6.5 out of 10 for the review. It was I know I marked it above Dynasty Warriors 6 because at the time I believed that it was better than Dynasty Warriors 6. And that opinion changed over time because after I had completed the review and got the Platinum Trophy, it was like I had absolutely no desire to come back to the game. And if somebody were to ask me, you know, why did you give this game such a high rating? Why didn't you be more critical of it? And I essentially said, you know, I would have given it a slightly lower score thinking about it, because even though I did have fun playing the game initially, I didn't really want to come back to it after reviewing it. And that would be the big thing for me. Because, like, every game that I've played for a review, I've wanted to come back to. Kamiko, even Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventure. I bought the sequel so I could do a review of it. I don't know when that'll happen, but I have it. And I want to do that, but I've got a lot of other games that I've started scripts and haven't got to yet. So I will say that I'm not having fun, but it's not something that I would choose to play over some of the other Warriors games like Dynasty Warriors 8, 4. Hell, I'd even play Warriors All-Stars over this personally. But, yeah, it's just... It's still very much the same old, same old. Playing as Hua Xiong, though, the story is different enough that it's like... It's actually making me want to play through it, even though I... oh, no. Let's get this guy. There we go. Even though I skipped over one of the story cutscenes, I was mostly doing that because, you know, I want to get into the gameplay of this for the sake of this video's purpose as a revisiting to this game. But where was I going with that train of thought? I am so out of it right now. My allergies are, just killing me. So if I sound a little nasally or a little raspy, that would be the reason why. I got my sinuses all stuffed up. But I do want to complete at least Hua Xiong's story and probably Yuan Shu's, maybe Deng Bai's. I don't know if Xiaoji's story is going to be unique, which would be the deciding factor of whether or not I play as her. Because that was one of the biggest criticisms that I would have for this game, is that because every character for that dynasty has the same story if they're around in that chapter, it's just, there's no point in playing through every single character's story with the exception of the ending cutscenes. And there's no trophy for it, so I have no desire to push for that. I think I've had 2 or 3 friends who have, actually completed that. So shout outs to them. I think that was Kasunami and Sword of Heaven. I don't know if Serene Gamer did that. I can't remember if he said he did. And I could be misremembering that Kasunami completed everybody's story, but I know Sword of Heaven did. So call me out if I'm wrong, because I tend to be wrong sometimes. But actually, while I'm on the horse, I wanted to show you something. If you hold guard and you turn the camera, you will actually turn, which makes fighting so much better. You have to kind of claw the controller, move the right stick with your thumb, and hit attack with your index finger. But this even happens when you're on the ground. And I don't remember that being in the original game. I don't think I did it that often, though. Where? I was holding down the button the entire time. You should have been coming. So yeah, the combat is still very repetitive. I do like the idea of having a different bow, so, that's an interesting thing to have. But it doesn't seem like there's anything special with the bow other than the fact that you can deal a little bit more damage and sometimes have a little bit of an effect. I don't know if you noticed it, but while I was attacking with the bow, let's jump out of here, and you can't really see it here. You can kind of see it there. But there's a little bit of a blast wave every time an arrow hits a target. Oh, it kind of works with the fire arrows, too. But, yeah, it is very much more of the same. You run in, you attack. There's no real reason to use your trigger moves, I guess. I forget what they're called, but I have no desire to do this. Indulge in the combat system. because you can just rapidly hit square
Seems the enemy doesn't know strategy.
and get the exact same effect.
Make them pay the price.
That being said,
Their vanguard looks to be stretched.
I do have a desire to come back to this game and get all the weapons, at least. That way, if I ever do want to play this game again, then I have them all, and I can just swap them out depending on the character, because some characters I feel like they would be better suited with other weapons that were provided in this game. I haven't done the challenges to get the different the different housing things. I haven't done that, so I'm at no place to judge that stuff, but at the same time, it's not something that I feel I would have paid for. The only reason why I got the season pass is because it's only slightly more expensive to get the season pass than it is to get all of the characters. And that was another reason why I didn't get the characters when they first came out. Otherwise, this video would have happened much sooner. But I couldn't warrant paying $30 some odd for 4 characters when it's like $38 to get all 4 characters, the 3 weapons, and the base expansions, and I think it also came with some gems. But as I said, I had no desire to get the season pass once I saw those prices. As Koei was promoting a lot of the DLC, I was very interested in it because, seeing all of these people getting hyped over it and seeing the community kind of get excited over this game, it was inspiring to me. It, that secondhand hype became a thing. But, to me, it's still more of the same. They've expanded a few things on, to me, when you go into a town, it actually feels like there's more characters in the town than there used to be. So that makes the towns feel a little bit more alive. I can slightly understand where am I going here? I don't have the indicator on because I dislike having that something telling me exactly where to go. But it might actually help with trying to play this game while talking about it. That's another thing I haven't done is I haven't gone through. Where'd everybody go? Hey, Bear. Did you see where everybody went? Oh, jeez. I think I've got this set to normal, too, so. Because, I would just have this set to beginner in order to get all of the characters' stories done. But, yeah, fuck it. I don't care that much. And I could do the extra XP trick for all the characters I haven't started yet. That way, I can just breeze through these stories but I have no interest in doing that personally.
I would like to. Then you.
So I don't know what happened there. Let's continue on with this. Now, one thing I will say is that I'm glad people are at least enjoying it. There's some people that are getting enjoyment out of it. Even though the community is a little bit split on Dynasty Warriors 9, knowing that people are at least enjoying the game itself, that makes me happy. Because, like with Dynasty Warriors 6, it was almost unanimous. Everybody disliked it. Now, over time, people have come out and said, you know, they enjoy it, but at the time of its release, it was pretty unanimous that Dynasty Warriors 6 was disliked by the fans. And when Dynasty Warriors 9 came out, it was so mixed. And it still is, because, you know, some people like that. Like, some people, Dynasty Warriors is the only thing that they play. And this is something new to them. This is something new for the series, for the franchise. It's a new breath of life into something that has, I'll admit, from time to time gone a little stale. Like with Warriors All-Stars and so on. But, yeah. I can see the appeal of Dynasty Warriors 9. It's just, it's not the Dynasty Warriors 9 for me. I feel like if they had given it a little bit more time, done a little bit more research into what makes an open world game fun, it would have been much better for them. And the game would have benefited from all of that. Like, this is not a terrible game. And I will never say that it's a terrible game. But I will stand by the review that I gave it, saying that, you know, it is a step backwards from what we had previously with Dynasty Warriors 8. The clones, even though some of them do have their own movesets, with the combat system, every character feels the same. No character feels individual like with Dynasty Warriors 8 and even previous games. Like, even in Dynasty Warriors 6, Shahudun felt different from Zhao Yun. But in this game, like, everybody feels the exact same because everybody has the exact same type of... it's hard to describe. Everybody has the moveset of swing your weapon around until everything dies. You have a move that knocks people to the floor so that you can do a different combo set. You have a move that launches them into the air so that you can have an aerial attack, and one that stuns them, and then you have a different moveset again. And I wish you could pick which combo is set to what. Having a little bit more customization in this kind of combat system would have been so much better, because there are movesets that I would prefer be my normal string of attacks, while others I would prefer to keep set aside for when the enemy is stunned, or the enemy is... Like, for the aerial attacks, I can understand them not being customizable, but yeah. I just wish that was something that Koei had thought about. And, you know, it's still something that they could potentially patch in. So I won't hold my breath that becomes a thing, because I imagine that would be a lot of reprogramming of movesets and stuff, but I would really enjoy that. And for some of the characters that have the same kind of weapon or the base moveset, like Xiahou and Sun Jian, it would be cool to be able to swap back and forth between their movesets. Kind of like Kingdom of Paradise, I think, is the game that I'm thinking of, where you can customize your moveset, but you can customize each attack of your moveset. It was a PSP game that maybe I'll let's play sometime so that you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But it's kind of like that, except instead of picking each individual moveset, you would pick your specifically the combo set that you want as like your default combo set and your stun combo set and that kind of stuff. I think that would be interesting to see implemented into this game. I would also like to see maybe the bows getting some experience, because like looking at upgrades, I'm spending all of my upgrade points into speed first. I don't think I will ever upgrade my bow skill. Personally. That's just... I don't see a reason for it. But I don't know. If they had... maybe if they had certain arrow types blocked behind a level cap. Like, you had to have 15 archery for fire arrows and at least 50 for explosion arrows, 10 for dispersion, and 25 or something for dispersion fire arrows. Like, just getting that having a little bit more of an RPG feeling to it, because like when you're going open world, you need to have a little bit more than just an open world. You need to have a lot of interactivity with it, and that's one of the big things that I don't feel I have playing Dynasty Warriors 9.
Actually, accepting.
So yeah, I've been babbling on about my thoughts coming back to Dynasty Warriors 9, whether or not I feel like, you know, how I feel about the combat system still, because like there's a lot of room for improvement that could potentially make it feel like something that you'd want to play. The only thing that makes me want to play this game right now is the new stories, because they're individual. Even though the story is the most in-depth of any Warriors game ever, it's the way it's told. It's not told in a very exciting way. Before, we got cutscenes in between each battle that would animate the characters in a way that would make them feel more individual and more like you would understand what kind of character they were. Meanwhile, now we just have... Oops. I was meaning to have normal arrows on. Right now, instead of having those cutscenes, you still have them, but they're much more rare and they're saved for special events. While the actual character interactions are just like old school RPG, visual novel style chat boxes where they animate themselves all the same. Everybody's animated the same. And Like, it has no emotion. Meanwhile, with Dynasty Warriors 8 and 7, there was a lot of emotion in those cutscenes compared to previous games, which is one of the things that I was always excited to do, was play through a stage with all of the events turned on. So that is a little bit of a disappointing thing, and I don't think they could patch in extra cutscenes or change the way the dialogue is done. That would have to wait until Dynasty Warriors 10 if they decide to continue on with an open world Dynasty Warriors. But yeah, the combat system can also be improved by implementing some sort of customization to your combat. Not just being able to switch weapons, but being able to switch what kind of combos you have for at least your ground attacks. Meanwhile, for the aerial attacks, you can only pick between the aerial attacks that weapon has, or that weapon type has. So like Xiahou and Sun Jian would only be able to pick between their respective, or their collective, I should say. Their collective combo sets. Meanwhile, like the ground move sets can be switched between like your basic, your stun, and your downed combo. What else is there? I would have liked to see a little bit more mounts. Koei has announced that they are planning to do more DLC for Dynasty Warriors 9. Depending on what it is, I may or may not buy into it. But if it's old school costumes, that might actually make me want to come back and play this game. More weapons, especially if they're old school weapons. I would really like to see them put in DLC weapons that have the old school combat system, but I don't think they'll do that because like this whole game is kind of designed around this combat system. They would be able to implement it. I just don't know if it's worth them trying to go through the hassle of that. But I'd like to see new mounts as well being put in as DLC. So, like, Matsukaze could be a DLC character. Or a DLC horse. Maybe the horse from Berserk, though. That's not their IP. But just implementing new horses and maybe also giving us actual animals. So like bringing back the wolf and the tiger and the hawk. Even though I never used those while trying to like play through a stage in a way that wasn't just for the sake of like killing some time. Because every now and then I'd play with Sima Yi using a wolf.
Tighten our defenses. Don't let them get any closer.
But I'd really like to see new weapons and new costumes and new story. If they did like what if stories for the free mode, at least that would be interesting to me to see. Like, what if the Yellow Turban won and I don't know, they were at Chibi and I don't know. I'm not in a creative mood to think of new what if stories, but something like a free mode scenario where where literally everyone is against you. That would be really cool, and that would be like a very fun, just plop me down into the world, and I will start massacring everything. But just getting creative with the scenarios, I think, is one of the big things that could draw more interest in coming back to the game. For me, anyways. Like, I might play more of this
Hey, stop getting everyone's attention.
just to beat the DLC character stories. Unless Xiaoji's is literally the exact same of the rest of Shu, then I don't know if I'll actually play her. But someone like Deng Bai, Hua Xiong, Yuan Shu, they all have like more of an individual story to themselves. So I'm more likely to play as those characters than, I don't know. It's hard to explain right off the bat. Like, I feel like this is something that I probably should have somewhat scripted, which is what I tried to do by playing a little bit of this beforehand, but yeah, it's still not 100% there.
You're definitely special.
But I think I've summarized essentially my overall thoughts on Dynasty Warriors 9 pretty well, at least coming back to the game. Like, I want this game to be good, and I'm hoping that the new DLC and the consistent patching of the game leads it to be a title that I will eventually come back to. And I'm pretty sure one of the things that will give me more incentive is to add more achievements or trophies with the DLC. Like, if there were trophies for doing the challenges and getting the house expansions, if there were DLC trophies for Zhang He and all the DLC weapons, if there were trophies for beating Hua Xiong, Yuan Shu, and Deng Bai and Xiaoji's story, I would probably play more of this game. Trophies are a big incentive now to help somebody get more out of their game. So, Koei, if you're listening, if you've taken the time out of your busy day to watch some Canadian guy play your game months after its release and critiquing it and giving some thoughts on your DLC that you have planned for the future, just take all of this into consideration, because I want this game to be something that I would want to come back to. Yeah, DLC trophies are really just a useful thing for me to keep coming back to a game. Like, I've platinumed Skyrim for PS4, but I didn't get all the trophies. I just did the base game stuff. And it was mostly because I wanted to review just the base game. Because when I was doing the comparison of it, was that a year ago, or I can't remember now. But when I did the comparison review of it, I wanted to compare the base version of Oblivion versus the base version of Skyrim. But yeah, back on topic. Let me finalize this video, end it off with the thought of how it started. The target of this Let's Play, this video, this pseudo How I Feel About episode is this game worth coming back to after completing it?
territory.
And personally, if you have the spare 30 some odd dollars to get the season pass, why not give it a try? If you had enjoyment while completing it, you might have enjoyment now trying to play through these 4 characters' story and playing with the new weapons. I haven't touched the challenges to get the house expansions, but who knows? I'll probably end up getting those as well because that's something new that's different from the monotony that we had originally with this game. That being said, if you didn't enjoy this game at all from the beginning, I can guarantee you will not enjoy this new DLC.
We shall defend this position. Do not allow
Like, this will not be worth it for you to come back to this game. If you haven't 100% completed this game, like you're missing some trophies and you're looking for that extra incentive to get those trophies, definitely go for it because this is a fairly easy platinum trophy to get. There's nothing super duper grindy, and this little bit of new coat of paint, I guess. Not even new coat of paint, just new accessories, I guess you could call it. This could potentially give you a little bit of incentive to get those last few trophies that you're missing, or the last few achievements if you're on Xbox. I feel like that would be worth it. And on top of that, if you are new to this game, if you are interested in trying this game and you've never played it, you've seen like all of the reviews, and you have the spare money to get the game and the DLC, I would recommend that as well because, you know, then you would have the full, complete game. Because, like, as somebody who was very critical of them when they dropped that the DLC weapons were in fact old weapons from the characters that were, you know, they had their weapons taken from them and turned into clones. I was very critical of that. I think that was very sleazy of them to do. So if they continue to put out DLC weapons that are from older games, I would hope that they're relatively well priced, because the price of just the one DLC pack for the claws, the piercers, and the hook sword, I can't remember what it's called, but just to buy the DLC for those it's not worth it, in my opinion. It is not worth it because they're just weapons, and in a combat system like this where everybody feels very much the same, it is not worth it. It is not a new experience. So I don't know. If you enjoyed this game, then I would recommend you pick up the DLC. But if you didn't enjoy this game, if you've already 100% completed it and you have no desire to come back, don't come back, because it is going to feel very much the same as when you first started out. But if you had some enjoyment, if there was something in the game that made you smile, made you feel good playing it, come back. Give it a little bit of an extra time, because there have been changes. There have been like the DLC could potentially give you a little bit of extra incentive to go for that last little bit of stuff that you didn't get the chance to do beforehand. So with that being said, I wanted to thank you all for joining me on this video. It was a very formal thank you, but I'm getting pretty tired here. It's very close to my bedtime, and I have to work in the morning, so I'm going to stop it here. I think this was a fairly long video, fairly long critique, where I wasn't really talking too much about what's going on in front of me, and I think that also proves my point about the combat system just being a little monotonous. So anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you have a Let's Play challenge for me, I will still be compiling a list while I'm on break. I will still be replying to comments down there, so if you have something you'd like to say, if you have an opinion on Dynasty Warriors 9 and the DLC, whether or not it is worth it, leave that down in the comments below. Keep the discussion going. I'd also like to thank my Patreon supporters, Angela Solis and Brian Scully, for supporting this channel. And if you'd like to join them at the end of every video, don't forget to check out the link on screen or down in the description to be taken to my Patreon, where you can donate at any tier to get your name at the end of the video. So, thanks again for watching, and I will see you all down in the comments.